for us, say, like I say, the IDWF was think, we could have simply said, no, we got Convention 189, why should we come here for 2 years to come here? Because, whatever. But I think the importance was, when we discussed it already in our exco, the importance was that let us go. And even if nobody go, Myrtle, will you be able to go? I think it's that presence of, we were in the same situation. We were fighting through 2006 to get where we are today. And by us giving that support, it was like a support system where we could talk, where we could add our voice. And by us showing the vulnerable sector, yes, you are part of us and we want to be part of you. And I think that for me also, and also what happened here, it again strengthened, for myself, it strengthened my belief again, it strengthened my fighting spirit again, and saying to me, you've got a lot of work to do back in your country, back in the countries that you're visiting. And so for me, it was good to be here the 2 years. It was good to be here as South Africa. It was good to be here to be in my capacity as the president, because after all, we are fighting the same struggle. And like they were saying in South Africa, an injury to one is an injury to all. I firmly believe that we are all one big family, and we are all in the vulnerable sector. And for me, it would be clearly to see that we don't lose what we have won here, even if it's just recommendations, but we have won something, we have gained something. The same, like I said, it was during this Convention 189, we have won, and it was a historical moment. Don't let us lose that dignity and respect. The same here, even if there was like a sort of stop and session, but even the vulnerable sector here, they have gained some of their respect. They have been recognized as workers. They've been recognized of their contribution, and how they're going to use these recommendations, it's up to them. They have to see that they use it, otherwise it's on paper. We don't want things on paper anymore. We want things that work for us. And I think this has been the message that now when I go and travel the world, I can also speak about the vulnerable sector and say how important it was that, we work together as one big family.
Touching on that, what do you sort of see as the next steps for recognizing specifically domestic worker rights in your movement?
I think the next step for us is for us as the domestic workers, the step is to see how we can help those countries that don't have proper domestic worker structure, how we can help that countries that are struggling with financially. We're not saying we can help them financially, but how we can approach funders and things like that to help them, and how we can set up small projects to benefit, educational projects to benefit. And I think that is how we see now going into the country. Sometimes a lot of people are still focusing on ratification. For me, and for me it's important, but for me the focus is not so much on ratification. We know it's a labor law now, we know it's an international law now. It is now how we're going to reach out and teach these workers about their labor law. So the most important part is to see where the gaps is in country, where the gaps is in Convention 189, and see then how the IDWF can strengthen that country, how the IDWF can add voice to the labor laws in that country. After all, it's the first federation in the world that's controlled by women. And it's important, it's not so much that it's controlled by women, it's important to show them where women take the lead, things do happen. And I think in just 2 years, the IDWF has proved that we are the voice of many workers, and we are building and we are growing. It's unreal how we're growing. And even if we listen today to the vulnerable sector, the StreetNet has been there for years and things, and we find that the IDWF has already got a 5-year plan, and we've only been 1 year in existence. I think we can also add value to all of that, and that it was good when Pat said today that we must put our strengths together and our voices together and see how we can build one another. And I think that way we're going to make it. Next 5 years, I hope I will still be around, but